Yeah, it's not so comfortable. That's not my favorite either. What else did you do this weekend?
Go to my aunt's house.
Your aunt's house?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What did you do?
I slept there.
You slept there?
Yeah.
Nice. So did your siblings go?
Wait.
Your brother and your sister? They went with you?
Yeah.
Nice. And when did you come back? Yesterday?
I came back like 1 o'clock. No, wait, more than 1 o'clock.
Later in the afternoon? Nice. So you spent the day there?
Yeah.
You saw your cousins?
Yeah.
Very nice. Did you go anywhere?
No.
No, just chilled at home.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, today's Monday, and then what kind of weather are we having today?
Rain.
Rainy, and what else?
Foggy.
Foggy. Yeah, good job. It's very foggy, which is not so fun for a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here, and you just came from PE.
Yeah.
What did you guys do?
Handball, basket, and another game.
So a lot of different games. Yeah. Nice. And was it fun?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So today we're going to do something that you've done before with Miss Martin, but we have another story that we're going to do today. Do you remember the 5 W's?
Yeah.
We talked about it last week, right?
Yeah.
The 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. So this is kind of how we ask questions and answer questions. So we're going to practice today. We're going to read a story, and then we're going to talk about the story using those 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. So I know this is kind of not that clear, but let's just look at this picture here. What do you see? What's happening?
A birthday.
A birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do we think it's a birthday?
Because there's a cake.
It's a cake, yeah.
And the people have like a hat.
The hats, yeah. So it's like a birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they?
I think in the garden.
Yeah, they're outside, right?
Yeah.
They're outside. And who's there?
Wait.
Who's there?
Wait.
There's the boy standing,
Yeah.
and maybe who are those people?
Their friends.
Maybe his friends, right? Yeah, and they're celebrating his birthday, so that's why they're there. They're celebrating a birthday. Good job. So just to kind of go over them, I know we've talked about this before. Which word is this?
Who?
Who. And who talks about what? What is who? What is who?
Like, who is she? Who is he?
Yeah, it's talking about the people
Yeah.
in the story, right? So the characters, we call them.
Yeah.
And in Italian, what's that?
Caratteri.
Yeah, the characters. So those are the people. And then we also talked about this. It can be people or it can be animals in a lot of the stories that we read in school. Sometimes our characters are animals. But it's who are the people in our story. Who is the story about? This one is what?
What?
What is happening in the story? So what is going on in the story? So this kind of is made up of events that are taking place in the story.
Yeah.
You know that word, eventi?
Yeah.
So where are they? So in the picture I just showed you, the what would be a birthday party, right?
Yeah.
Right. So in a lot of stories, there's a problem and the solution, right?
Yeah.
Soluzione. So that's kind of what makes up the story. What is happening in the story?
They're making a party.
Yeah, exactly. So that's in the picture we use. But you don't have to answer for what's happening. I'm just kind of going over the 5 W's. When?
I think it's like after school, afternoon.
Yeah, maybe it was in the afternoon, after school or on the weekend. So when is asking when does the story take place? So that could either be in the story, that could be the time, or maybe we would say when did it happen? It happened in, what month is it?
Oh wait,
It's still,
Wait.
do you remember what month are we in?
No. May?
We're in March.
Oh, yeah.
We're in March. But that could be how you describe when. When did it happen? Oh, in March. Or by the season.
Oh.
What season are we in now?
Spring?
Yeah, spring just started. So that would be how you describe when. When did the story take place? So we don't know for that picture, but that's what we mean when we say when. And then where? Where does the story take place? We talked about this word setting. So where are they? And in that picture, where do we say they are?
In the garden?
Yeah, they're outside or in a garden. And then the where could also be places. So maybe they were at his house because it's his birthday, so they were at his house. Or this weekend, where were you?
My aunt's house?
Your aunt's house. So that would be the where, the setting. And the last one is why. Why are the events happening in the story? What's the reason? So for that picture, we would say, why are they at a birthday party? Why are they at a birthday party?
Because the boy had his birthday.
Yeah, because it's the boy's birthday. So they're celebrating his birthday. Excellent. So that would be why, the reason. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to review some words with you because we are going to read a story. Have you ever seen this word before, shining?
Yeah.
When we talk about shining,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
The sun.
The sun, yeah, the sun. Today, the sun is not shining, right?
Yeah.
It is not shining. Stars shine, the sun shines. Yeah, excellent. And then what about this word, adventure?
When you go mountain.
Sure, yeah, a mountain adventure or any type of adventure, but you've seen this word before?
Yeah.
Adventure. And then the last word I want to look at is cheer. Do you know what it means to cheer? To cheer for something? So maybe if you do watch sports?
Sometimes.
Maybe if you're watching your favorite team or even in PE when your class is winning and you're playing against another class and you score the ball and you're like, yes, good job.
Yeah.
You're like cheering, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so do you know have you cheered before?
Yeah.
Yeah, you cheer probably when you play sports or when somebody does something good and you're happy for them or you're excited for them, you cheer. When maybe like even clapping is like cheering.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna practice. We have a story here, and then we're gonna read the story, and then we're gonna look back and answer questions with the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. So it's up here, but I also have it here for you to read, and then we'll turn this over, and we're gonna practice writing some sentences. Okay? All right. So, do you want to start out reading?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. We'll read it out loud.
Maria woke up early on Saturday. She was happy because her friends were coming to visit her. After breakfast, Maria and her friends decided to go to the park.
Great.
They brought a soccer ball and a frisbee. The weather was nice and the sun was shining. They walked to the park talking and laughing.
Great job.
At the park, Maria and her friends played soccer. They made 2 teams and had a fun game. Maria teams scored their first goal and everyone cheered.
Yeah, you see that word cheered?
Yeah,
Because why did they cheer?
because he scored.
They scored a goal. Yeah, great.
After playing for an hour, they took a break.
A break.
They
Do you know what that word means, break? So if you're playing
yeah.
a game and maybe you
Yeah.
call a timeout or you sit for a second, drink some water, you're taking a break from the game.
Wait,
We're here. They
grass and eat ice cream. Maria had strawberry ice cream, and her friends had chocolate and vanilla. While eating, they talked about movies, school, and what they liked to do at home.
Great. And then this last paragraph. Are you okay to keep reading?
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
After the ice cream, they walked around the park. They saw people having a picnic and others riding bikes.
Riding bikes.
And her friends, Maria and her friends, took a picture of the pretty flowers in the garden. They laughed and had fun.
Good.
Soon it was time to go home. Maria felt happy because she had a great day with her friends. She was excited for their next adventure.
Good. Good job. So before we turn this over, in just like a sentence or two, what's happening in this story?
They are playing in the park.
Yeah, Maria's playing at the park, right?
With her friends.
With her friends, yeah. And they did a few different things they did in this story.
They play soccer.
They played soccer.
And after they eat.
Yeah, and then they ate ice cream after. Great. So we're going to turn this over and then we're going to answer these 5 questions about the story and then we'll look back at the story to help us answer them, right? And then you have it here and it's also up here so we can take a look. All right. So you have a pencil here. So what is this first question asking?
Who is this story about?
Yeah, who is this story about? Who are our characters in the story? Yeah, Maria's the main character. Is anybody else in the story?
Her friends.
Yeah, so maybe we could say Maria's
friends.
Maria, and let's try to make it a full sentence. So we could say, yeah, we could say Maria and
her
friends. Yeah, excellent. Who is the story about? Maria and her friends. What did they do?
They play soccer.
They played soccer, and then this one is where we can maybe make a little bit more of a list. What did they do? Soccer. Perfect, yeah, soccer. They played soccer, and then you can maybe put a comma. Because that, right, we have another thought when we use a comma. So what else did they do? They played soccer.
And they eat.
Yeah, what did they eat?
Ice cream.
They ate ice cream.
Wait, how do you write?
They ate.
Wait.
Do you want to look in the story? Let's see. After playing for an hour, they took a break. They sat on the grass and ate ice cream.
Oh. They ate ice cream.
Excellent. And then what's something else they did after they ate ice cream? Let's think of one more. How about this? After the ice cream,
they go home.
Yeah, they went home, but before they went home, what did they do after they ate ice cream? After the ice cream,
After ice cream, they walked around the park.
yeah, they walked around the park.
Oh,
So we could say they played soccer, they ate ice cream, and,
oh wait.
right, and
They what?
walked. Great job. And they walked. And, okay, they walked. So you could put a period. All right. When did they go?
In the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. How do we know they went in the morning?
Morning, I wake up
Early.
outside.
Yeah, great job. So what morning did they go?
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah. So when did they go? You could say, if you wanted to echo the question, you can say they. When did they go? They went,
They went
right? Went on.
or
You just said it, Saturday morning. Yep. They went.
They went
On. Excellent. And then how do we end our sentence?
oh wait.
Period. Perfect. Okay. Where did they go?
They go
Where did all of this happen? They played soccer. Yeah, at the park. Excellent. So we can answer in a full sentence. How will we answer that in a full sentence?
they play
They,
in the park.
yeah. You could say they went to the park, they played at the park.
They went
Perfect. And then let's end our sentence. Beautiful. Okay, and the last one is why. Why did they go to the park? There's a few reasons why they probably went to the park that day, right? Why did they go? What did they want to do? Or what made them think it was a good day to go to the park?
sun
Yeah, that's right, because the sun was what?
shining.
Yeah, the sun was shining. Excellent. Because the sun was shining. Here. Excellent job, and that's a new word. The sun was shining. Good job. They went to the park because the sun was shining. And what else? The sun was shining and
They came to visit.
and her friends came to visit. Excellent. And you could say and her, or you could say and her friends, or and Maria's friends.
How do you write her?
Her. H-E-R. Her. Friends.
And her friends.
Came. Great job. Excellent job. And then period. Good. So this is great. So this tells us that we know what the story's about and what's happening in the story. We can ask and answer questions about the story. So you did a really, really nice job with this. So who is the story about?
Maria and her friends.
Yeah, the story is about Maria and her friends. What did they do?
They played soccer, they ate ice cream, and they walked.
Yeah, and they walked around the park. When did they go?
They went on Saturday morning.
Excellent. Where did they go?
They went to the park
Yeah, they went to the park. And why did they go?
because the sun was shining and her friends came to visit.
Yeah, this is perfect. Excellent, excellent job. So we're finally understanding, right, what the 5 W's tell us. They help us to understand what's going on in a story, right? Have you heard that word summarize?
No.
A summary. If someone asks us for a summary, they want to know the main ideas of a story, right?
Oh.
The main ideas, the main points. We call that a summary. So if you can identify the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why, you should be able to kind of give a summary on a story. So you did a great job. This is perfect. So how does that feel when you have to answer those questions? How does that feel for you? Good? You can
Yeah.
answer them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you understand the difference between who and why.
Yeah.
You know the difference between like
Yeah.
what and when.
Yeah.
Which one is when?
Like when they go.
When they go, right? What's an example of when?
They went. Oh. Clock.
Yeah, like the time.
Time.
Yeah, the time, or maybe the month. Yeah, the day or the month. Sometimes when we tell a story and someone asks us, when was that? We say, oh, that was last year. Or that was 3 years ago, right? So it could be a time, and that's how the different ways that we tell time. The actual time on the clock, or the day, or the month, or the year, or the different ways that we tell time. Or even the seasons. Oh, well, it's spring now, but I met you in the winter, right? So that's how we kind of tell when something happened. Very good. I think we'll do like some more of these as the year goes on, and maybe with some more complex story, but this was perfect. You did a really nice job.